Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Smell What Coop is Cooking. On today's episode, we're sticking with the meal preps, and this week we're doing barbecue chicken. Let's go. What's going down, you guys? Let's go ahead and start marinating the chicken that we're going to be using for this week's meal prep. For this meal prep, we're going to be making some barbecue chicken, and I'm going to be using chicken thighs. Feel free to use chicken breast if you'd like, but you guys know I like these chicken thighs for my meal prep, so this is what we're going to be using today. First, I'm going to clean up these chicken thighs by cutting off any connective tissue and any fat that I do not want on it. I'm just going to take a sharp knife and cut that off each piece of my chicken thighs. And when I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and chuck them into this mixing bowl. The seasonings that I'm going to be using for this barbecue chicken from right to left are Hickory Smoke BBQ Rub, Montreal Chicken seasoning, black pepper, and salt. Drizzle a few tablespoons of olive oil over my chicken, and then go ahead and start dumping in the seasoning, starting with the salt, the pepper. Get that Montreal seasoning inside. Don't forget that barbecue rub. Sprinkle a few tablespoons of chopped parsley. Don't forget, you guys, the full recipe is in the description. Go ahead and get my hand in there, mix this all up until it's well coated. I'm gonna go ahead and cover this up and let it marinate for about 1 hour, or up to 24 hours if you got the time. For this week's barbecue meal prep, I'm going to be using some carrots, broccoli, and potatoes. Starting out with the carrots, I'm going to go ahead and cut these in half lengthwise. That will give me 2 halves. I will now take these 2 halves, cut each of those lengthwise to give me 4 pieces, and then cut those in half right through the middle. This will give me some nice even pieces of carrot to ensure that they cook at the exact same rate. Next, we got a bunch of broccoli. I'm going to go ahead and cut those broccoli florets off. Go ahead and separate each floret so that they're not connected. Set those bad boys aside for now. Next up, I got a mix of baby gold and red potatoes. I've already washed these. I'm going to go ahead and slice these lengthwise and add them to a mixing bowl. What's barbecue chicken without some red onions? So I decided to slice up one of those. We're going to be adding this as well. Go ahead and slice your red onion into slices. Now all these potatoes and veggies are going to go into a Ziploc bag. Into that bag, I'm going to add a few tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, some minced garlic, Italian seasoning, Montreal chicken seasoning, and about a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Add a little pinch of salt, crack some black pepper over this, and let's go ahead and close this Ziploc bag up. Leave a little bit of air inside of it. Then go ahead and start shaking it up. Grab it and you shake the bag until everything is coated. Next, move that to the side. Pull out a baking sheet lined with foil. Spray that down with some non-stick cooking spray. And then go ahead and dump my bag of seasoned potatoes and veggies onto my baking sheet. Now look how good those perfectly coated potatoes and veggies look. Go ahead and slap that like button and make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. Grab a spatula and even out those potatoes and veggies all over the pan. And we're gonna roast these in a 350 degree preheated oven for about 30 to 35 minutes. And for the barbecue sauce, I'm gonna be using a store-bought barbecue sauce. Feel free to use a homemade one if you'd like, but since I'm using a store-bought barbecue sauce, I'm gonna go ahead and jazz this bad boy up a little bit. So in a small mixing bowl, I'm gonna mix some apple cider vinegar, go in with about a tablespoon of honey, and the sauce I'm using is a bourbon barbecue sauce from our friends over at Rib Rack. As you can see right there, it says simple ingredients. If you flip this over on the back, it really does have simple ingredients. And no, Rib Rack is not a sponsor of this video, but listen, Rib Rack, if you're out there, my DMs are open. Go ahead and hit me up at smellwhatcoopiscooking@gmail.com, and we can make that deal happen. Look, holla at me. But that's neither here nor there. So let's go ahead and mix up this barbecue sauce until it's well combined. And now a little over 1 hour has passed. My chicken has sufficiently marinated. It's time to get this on the grill. Back on that grill like king of the hill. I've got my propane grill preheated over high heat. I'm gonna go ahead and lay down each piece of these marinated chicken thighs onto the grates of my grill. Gonna close the lid, lower my temperature to medium, and let these cook for about 5 minutes. After 5 minutes have passed, go ahead and open up your grill, flip those bad boys over, and go ahead and let them cook for an additional 5 minutes. Now, after you flip the chicken and let it cook for an additional 5 minutes, it's time to flip it again and start to add our barbecue sauce. So we're going to mop that delicious barbecue sauce that we whipped up inside all over our chicken thighs. Close the lid and let that cook an additional 5 minutes. All right, at this point, about 15 minutes have passed. Let's go ahead and open up our grill, flip our chicken thighs over, and we'll go ahead and apply another coat of barbecue sauce onto the opposite side. Once again, close up that lid, and we're gonna let these bad boys go for 5 more minutes. All right, now that that 5-minute block has passed, our chicken's been grilling for about 20 minutes. Go ahead and check yours. Make sure it comes up to an internal temperature of 165 degrees. These bad boys are done. Let's go ahead and get them off the grill, onto a tray, and inside to rest. Go ahead and let that delicious barbecue chicken rest for about 5 minutes. While that's resting, let's go ahead and pull out our potatoes and veggies. These have been roasted in our oven for about 35 minutes, and they are looking fire, y'all. Now our barbecue chicken thighs have adequately rested. Let's get these on a cutting board, slice these up against the grain, and get these ready to start prepping. This week I'm going to be making 4 meal preps out of this. So I'm going to go ahead and separate my Parmesan roasted potatoes and veggies into 4 separate meal preps. Make sure I'll get an even amount into each of those. Next, I'll divide my barbecue chicken thighs into 4 portions and add those to my containers as well. And there you have it, you guys. Barbecue chicken thighs with Parmesan roasted potatoes and veggies. I've got a little bit of that barbecue sauce left. Let's go ahead and mop a little bit of that sauce on top of our veggies. Go ahead and slap a lid on each one of these. I'm gonna store these in my fridge for up to a week, but we all know they ain't gonna make it that long. Thank you for joining me this week, you guys, for another episode of Smell What Coop is Cooking. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend or foe. You already know. And let me know what y'all think of this one. I'm gone. There you have it, you guys. Barbecue chicken thighs with Parmesan roasted potatoes and veggies. Let me know how you guys like this one in the comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with a friend or foe. You already know. And we'll catch you right back here next week for another episode of Smell What Coop is Cooking.